Welcome to Raptorisms over Crystalis episode 7. In this video, we're finally going to take on the boss of Mount Saber, and then we're going to move on to the next stage of the game. There's going to be a lot to get to in this video, so I'm not going to go on a very long rant this time. I'm just going to do a short mini rant as we work our way up to the boss, and while we're doing that, I want to talk about walkthroughs in general. As I said in a previous video, I had no idea what I was doing in this game when I was a kid until one of my friends actually gave me a paper walkthrough for this game, and only after really playing through this game a few times did I really figure out what this whole RPG thing was all about, how you're supposed to talk to people around town, get different clues to figure out how to get to different things in different parts of the game. But even then, there's still some things in this game that I know that I'm supposed to do them, and yet I don't know the proper clue or motivation for why I'm supposed to do them. So while I'm playing through this game right now, I'm really trying to go through it as if I had no prior knowledge of the game, and I'm just trying to find all the right clues the honest way. Yet pretending I don't know what I'm doing is a really difficult task sometimes, and so if I'm skipping over something, or if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Right now I'm playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I'm really trying to play that game the honest way. I'm not going to look at any strategy guides, at least until I beat the game one time, and then I may go back and do a few more tasks that I couldn't figure out myself. But it occurred to me while playing through Breath of the Wild that this is the only time I've ever really done that. For every other RPG I've played in my entire life, I have looked at a strategy guide. Sometimes it's just for really minor things, like at the end of a Final Fantasy game trying to figure out how to get the Ultima Weapon or something like that. But regardless, it feels really weird that now, for the first time in my life, I'm playing through an RPG without looking at a strategy guide, and that means I'm relying on out-of-game clues way too much. I should do things more properly. I guess the only other RPG that I've played without looking at a strategy guide was actually another Zelda game, Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo, and that game actually came with its own sort of strategy guide, at least for the first few dungeons, and I guess that doesn't count? But still, I was looking at papers off screen instead of figuring things out in the game for myself. Now I have played through non-RPGs without having looked up information online or anything like that, and sometimes that leads to incredibly hilarious results. For example, when I played through Metal Gear Solid 3, I had no idea what the close quarters combat system even was until I got up to a boss near the end of the game that forced me to use it. When I mentioned that in my review of the game on my website a long time ago, all of the commenters criticized me for being so stupid as not to realize what the CQC system was until the very end of the game. But isn't it much more fun to realize these things on the fly? And who wants to read an instruction manual anyway? Now looking back into the game, I'm about to get up to the boss of Mount Saber, General Kabelske, so let me put on the Sword of Wind along with the Wind Bracelet, which is going to get my sword up to charge level 3, and with that I can hit him with my hardest shots. Walk past all these soldiers, and here he is. I'm the great General Kabelske. I'm one of Dragonia's finest 4. Wimp, you will now see the wrath of my power. Alright, so hit him with the big shot right off the bat, and from now on it's going to be a little hard to charge up to level 3 without taking hits along the way, so I'm going to try to hit him with some single charge blasts as much as I can, and charge up to level 3 once in a while like I did right there. As he stomps on the ground, he produces, I guess, a lot of little avalanches and snowballs and stuff, and those can be pretty hard to dodge, so it's inevitable that you are going to take a lot of hits when you fight him, but as long as I'm going at the pace I am right now, I'm hitting him with a lot of my single shots, not really missing much, I think I might actually be able to pull this off. Alright, so let me try to dodge this as best I can, try to stab him a little bit if he does get close to me without charging up. And this is actually going to do it. Wow, I actually beat him on my first try. Don't think you've seen even a fraction of my power. The next time you see me, it'll be your last. Alright, and the treasure chest here is going to give me the Flame Bracelet, which is going to be the bracelet for the Sword of Fire. That's going to take my Sword of Fire up to level 3, and now that sword is maxed out whenever I want to use that. But now I'm going to use the key to the prison to open the gate behind him. As you saw in my previous video, I had to get that as well from another area in order to pass through here, and like I said, if I didn't get that at that time, it would really suck to try to open that door behind him and to realize that I needed a key and that I still had to march through more of Mount Saber. Anyway, this guy just told me that I'm going to move on to the next area of Portoa, and with that I'm going to meet the Queen, who has unusual powers. So this is a pretty fun area of the game. Mount Saber, which is kind of a hard area, is finally behind you and you are on to a new adventure. Alright, so in just a bit you're going to get a telepathic message. Oh Raptor, good job. I'll now teach you the magic of paralysis. It will paralyze most monsters and cause people to fall asleep. It will be useful in the next town. You now have paralysis. Alright, so this is your next spell, and it's extremely useful in certain areas. It works on both people and on monsters. It doesn't work in battle so much, like you're never really going to use it in battle, but there are a lot of great uses for it to get to certain secrets and clues around town. This is Portoa, the capital of water. Water from Mount Saber makes this town prosper. And now let's walk into the goods shop and see how everything in this shop is extremely expensive compared to everything we've seen so far. Like I've said, and I can't say it enough, Inflation is ridiculous in this game. We now have about $803, which is enough to buy pretty much everything we've seen in the goods shops in the town so far, but here it's not going to get us very far at all. Now, I am really low on hit points and magic points, so let's head to the inn and see how much of a ripoff it is. $100. If I had no choice, I would absolutely stay here, but I do have 25 magic points left, which is enough for one teleport spell. Let me head back to Leaf, and of course the first thing we'll notice is that the people that we saved from Mount Saber are now back in Leaf, which is great, and that means that I can stay at this inn for only $16. So let me do that, and let me talk to some of the people around town here because I just saved them. Thank you for saving me. It's really nice that people actually appreciate me here. And let me check out just a few more. Thank you for saving me once again. What does the village elder have to say? Another thank you for saving me. So this is a really old game. I guess they didn't want to use up too much memory on different lines after you've saved them and you really have no more business in this town. Are you the one who saved everyone? Good job. And I guess this guy needed a special line because it's all thanks to this rabbit who was the one who told me that the people from Dragonia's Empire actually came and took everyone away. So now let's teleport back to Portoa and get started on the adventures in this town. So let's move around here. I heard Dragonia wants to invade this town because they are afraid of the Queen's power. A girl from the southern lake came here. I think she wanted to rent a boat. So let's check out the boathouse here. My father went out to look for his lamp. He won't be back for a while. What an oddly specific comment. It's almost as if I'll have to look for that lamp later in the game. Now let's check out the armor shop, and this is some good armor. I will want to buy it, but right now it is just way too expensive for me. So I'll need to probably grind up a bit, and once I get some more money, I'll come back here and buy this armor. Alright, now let's try to head up to the Queen's Palace, and the Queen, surprise surprise, has a big secret, but I'm going to try to play through this game as if I don't know what's going on, so you can actually see how this whole thing falls into place. Some people went up to the waterfall but haven't returned yet. I heard a monster lives there. Also, a greedy man called Akahana went there and hasn't returned yet. A fortune teller in the town is very good, but she's not always there. We're going to see her fairly shortly. Akahana, by the way, he's the guy from the second town who gave us the gas mask after we found his statue. He's going to show up a few times throughout this game. And in this pawn shop, let me sell one of my medical herbs because I have way too many and they're kind of useless. Even though I'm only going to get $10 for them, the more important thing is that it's going to free up my inventory. Now this is the fortune teller's house, but nobody's home right now, so let's get away from here and head over to the Queen's Palace. Alright, so we can just walk right in, and the guard says, don't be rude to the Queen. I'll try. I'm the Queen of Portoa. Are you the legendary man who climbed through Mount Saber? It's too peaceful here. I'm bored. Maybe talk for a while. How does the town look to you? We take pride in its beauty, blah blah blah. It's gotten late. I had a good time though. I must go now. And this guy's telling me not to wander around the Queen's room. There is a very suspicious door back there that we're gonna try to get through later, but for now let's just wander around and talk to all these people in the castle. None of them are really important here. They're just saying that they love the Queen, blah blah blah. On the women's side, you have some people talking up the Queen a little bit more, you know, fixing meals for the Queen. And there's one more. Let me go back in. The Queen sometimes disappears from her room. I wonder how she leaves without anyone noticing. Well, there's actually a useful clue right there. Obviously, there's that door in the back that she's going through, but when and why does she go through that door? I have a feeling we're going to find out not too long from now, and this is one of the beautiful things about a game as old as this. Every single door matters. It's not just going to be some random background accessory. If there's a door, someone's going through it. Alright, let me take on some of these enemies, and they are not causing any damage whatsoever. So I'm going to get the Sword of Water in this stage, big surprise, because everything's water related here, and even in this cave, I'm not causing any damage, so let me run away back to town because there is absolutely nothing I can do here except for get hurt and die. This is a fairly large overworld area. There's a large area to the east across the river. There's another large area down to the south. There's a lot to do around here, but first and foremost, you need the Sword of Water. Alright, so let's work our way back up to the Queen's Palace, and this time the guard is getting in our way. The Queen wishes to see no one today. Come back later. Alright, I wonder what that's all about. Let me head over to the fortune teller's place, and this is the first time we've met her. I'm the fortune teller. Let me see your fortune. See the Queen. Your way will be open. I wonder how she knows that. Well, let's follow her advice and head back to the Queen's Palace. So if we go in this time, is the guard going to try to stop us? Nope, we're free to go. Just don't be rude to the Queen. Alright, so we're going to have a little more chit-chat here. Have you gotten used to life in the town? Blah, blah, blah. I must go now. Alright, well, let's head back out. And this time, let's see what happens if we head over to the fortune teller one more time. Alright, she's here and she's going to tell us to go back to the palace. Our way is definitely going to be opened. This is starting to get a bit repetitive, but she is a fortune teller, why not listen to her, right? So our way is opened once more and we're talking to the queen. Raptor, come closer to me. I would like to be an adventurer like you to see what lies beyond here. It's gotten late, see you again. Alright, so you might be tempted to head back to the fortune teller, but let's see what happens if you try to go back to the queen one more time without stopping by the fortune teller first. Well, this time the guard's getting in our way, so let's use our new spell, Paralysis, and stop him from getting in the way of the door. So let's hit him right here, bam. He's fast asleep, so let's head right on in, and no one's here. So let's go through that suspicious looking door in the back and find this little river behind the palace. Now, we don't have the Sword of Water yet, so we can't create any bridges across the river. We're just gonna have to walk around, and there's really no path leading anywhere from here. So let's head right back out, and this time I guess we'll go to the fortune teller because no one's around the queen's palace right now. So let's head right out of here, see if the guard's mad at us. The queen wishes to see no one today. Well, it's as if nothing happened, so let's go right back to the fortune teller and see if we can get any new information there. Now, if you notice the fortune teller's house, she has some suspicious doors in the back as well, and she's telling me once again to go back to the palace. The way will definitely be open. So here we are, and we can go right through, and the queen, she's going to tell us, oh Raptor, did you know there's a cave behind the northern waterfall? Go there, I'll give you the Flute of Lime, use it wisely. That was the cave we just went to a little while back, and this time with this item, we might be able to get a little bit farther. So that's going to be it for now. Where we pick up next time, we're going to take a look at this cave behind the waterfall, and this is going to help us get to the Sword of Water. Something in the darkness is calling you. Carry on, but don't get lost. Wonder what that's all about, that's pretty ominous. Anyway, let's end on that note. See you next time!